Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's the Story, Gemini, the podcast where I ask Google Gemini about a topic and then we learn about it together. So, today you might hear some background noises because my dogs were able to convince me with their big, beautiful brown eyes to give them treats. So, they are currently snacking on them. And they're just loud. They're not little dogs. So I'm sorry if you can hear all that. I'll try and drown it out with some random improvisation. So today we're going to be talking about moral panics. And this popped up because I was watching another episode of Some More News on YouTube. If you guys are not familiar with it, I would check it out. I think that Cody Johnson is very entertaining and they have really good writing. So, I wanted to find out more about moral panics. Am aware of a couple of them, only because there was one that was pretty big in the 80s, and I believe that it influenced the case of the Memphis Three, which was really unfortunate. So, and I know a particular artist also suffered during that time, which I can kind of see like maybe why. I don't want to speak too much to it because I have a feeling that it's probably going to be mentioned because it's a moral panic and that's like one of the big ones known. So, let's dive in. What exactly is a moral panic? Imagine a time when everyone's all up in arms about something. Not just a little concern, but like full on freaking out. And that is a moral panic. It's when society collectively loses its cool over a particular issue or group, often fueled by fear and misinformation. Think of it as mass hysteria, but with a moral twist. Examples. Well, there are tons. Remember the satanic panic of the 80s? Yo, this is exactly what I was talking about. I was thinking about Ozzy Osbourne. Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Wait, did I say that right? I did say that right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, but I'm also kind of not sorry for it. People were convinced that Satanists were everywhere, abusing kids and performing rituals. Or how about recent Gamergate controversy? Okay, so I actually have never heard of Gamergate, so curious. Gamers were accused of being sexist and toxic, leading to a wave of harassment and online attacks. Even the Salem witch trials could be seen as a moral panic, albeit a particularly tragic one. Yeah, I was gonna say particularly is carrying a lot of weight in that sentence. 19 people were hanged. One was crushed to death. I actually wanted to write a book about this back in high school, a journal from the perspective of a girl going through the Salem witch trials. So that's a very fascinating topic. I should ask Google, Gemini. I should ask Gemini about that. I'm gonna write that down. Let's break down what makes a moral panic tick. First, there's always a specific issue or group at the center of it. It could be new technology, like video games, a particular social group, like immigrants or LGBTQ plus people, or even a perceived threat to traditional values. Next, the media plays a huge role in portraying this issue or group in a negative light. They exaggerate the dangers, sensationalize the stories, and create a sense of urgency. It's like a wildfire, and the media is the fuel. Yo, what? The media causes these issues because they blow things out of proportion? Color me shocked! And of course, there's always concern and fear. People worry about the safety of their children, the erosion of their values, or the decline of society as they know it. These fears are often amplified by the media and by certain individuals who have a vested interest in promoting the panic. So, who are these people? They're often called moral entrepreneurs. They're individuals or groups who see it as their mission to uphold traditional values and morality. They might be religious leaders, politicians, or even just concerned citizens. Their motivations can vary, but they often have a desire to protect society from perceived threats or to advance their own agendas. Okay, so that second part is very nefarious, is very ominous sounding. like it. So, how do politicians and policymakers respond? Well, it depends. Some might try to capitalize on the panic for political gain, while others might genuinely believe that something needs to be done. In either case, the panic can lead to new laws, regulations, or social policies that may or may not be effective. The media, of course, is a huge player. They can shape public opinion, amplify the panic, and even create a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people are constantly bombarded with negative news about a particular group, they are more likely to view them with suspicion and fear. But what about the broader social context? Moral panics often occur during times of social change or upheaval. When people feel uncertain about the future, they become more susceptible to fear and anxiety. Economic downturns, cultural shifts, or political instability can all create fertile ground for moral panics. And let's not forget about historical precedents. There are countless examples of moral panics throughout history, from the witch hunts of the Middle Ages to the Red Scare of the Cold War. These past events can provide valuable insights into the dynamics of moral panics and the ways in which they can be addressed. What are the consequences of all of this? Well, moral panics can have both direct and indirect consequences. They can lead to discrimination, harassment, and even violence against the targeted group. They can also have a chilling effect on free speech and expression, as people may be afraid to speak out for fear of being labeled as dangerous or immoral. But on a more positive note, moral panics can sometimes lead to social change. They can raise awareness of important issues and challenge outdated beliefs and practices. But it's important to remember that the consequences of a moral panic can be far-reaching and often unpredictable. Finally, is the level of public concern justified? And that's a tough question to answer. Sometimes the perceived threat is real, and the panic is a necessary response. But other times, the panic is overblown and the targeted group is unfairly demonized. It's important to critically evaluate the evidence and avoid jumping to conclusions. How does all of this reflect broader societal values and beliefs? Moral panics often reveal underlying tensions and anxieties within society. They can reflect fears about loss of control, cultural decline, or the erosion of traditional values. By understanding the factors that contribute to moral panics, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human behavior and the ways in which society evolves over time.